Welcome. Please take a seat. Not that seat. That one's reserved for legal. Yes, the empty one. Legal is always theoretically present and never actually here. Very on brand for this proceeding. My name is irrelevant. My title is Senior Analyst of Operational Accountability, subdivision of people who read your chat logs. So you don't have to. I work for the corporation. The corporation has no name. The corporation has excellent dental. The corporation would like to remind you that this tribunal is being conducted in the spirit of radical transparency, which is funny because every single defendant today has dedicated significant energy to being the opposite of transparent. Today, we are auditing Anonymous, not a person named Anonymous, not your cousin who posts on Reddit without logging in. We are auditing the entire operational hierarchy of one of the most chaotic, leaderless, occasionally genuinely impactful, frequently embarrassing, and perpetually mythologized digital collectives in recorded internet history. We are going to run each tier through a standard corporate performance review. We have KPIs. We have a rubric. We have a red door and a green door at the end of this hallway. And by the time we're done, you will know exactly which one each of these people deserves. Let's begin. Clock is running. Coffee is bad. Proceedings are open. Tier 1. The Lurker. I was just watching. Here we are. The Lurker. The bedrock. The foundation upon which all of this is built. And by foundation, I mean load-bearing audience member who has never once lifted a brick. The Lurker's opening statement, reconstructed from behavioral data, since the Lurker did not actually submit an opening statement, because that would require doing something, goes roughly as follows. I'm part of this. I'm aware. I care. I watch. My presence matters. So. Let's check that. Does your presence matter? Technically, yes. Every view is a data point. Every forum visit pings a server. In aggregate, the Lurker is the sea in which the fish swim. Anonymous needs witnesses. It needs an audience. It needs people to see the Guy Fawkes mask and think, oh, I've heard of that, rather than, why is that man dressed like a historical terrorist at a tech conference? The Lurker provides legitimacy by existing. That's real. That counts. Does the Lurker take any risk? Reading public forums? No. Visiting sites that have been linked in major news stories? Essentially no. Sharing a meme that was already shared 400,000 times before it got to you? Functionally no. The Lurker's entire operational footprint is the digital equivalent of standing near a protest and nodding. Rapid fire. Arrest record? 0. Operational contribution? Ambient. Could be identified by law enforcement. Only if law enforcement is very bored and very underfunded. Self-perception? Revolutionary? Actual classification under most legal frameworks? Civilian. Verdict? Green door. Not because the Lurker is innocent of anything meaningful, but because the Lurker is innocent of doing anything meaningful. You're free. Go back to the forum. You were never really here. Tier 2. The Signal Booster. I just shared it. Oh good, an upgrade. Same energy, slightly more fingerprints. The Signal Booster reposts, amplifies, participates in low-intensity collective actions. The kind where 10,000 people do one small thing simultaneously, and it adds up to something a journalist will describe as a coordinated campaign. The Signal Booster's favorite legal defense, delivered with complete sincerity, is, I just shared a link. I didn't do anything. Let's check that. Just sharing a link in the context of a DDoS amplification campaign is, depending on jurisdiction, potentially participation in an unauthorized access operation. The UK's Computer Misuse Act does not have a "but I just clicked it" exemption. Neither does the CFAA in the United States. In 2013, the Department of Justice charged over a dozen individuals connected to Operation Payback, which targeted PayPal, Visa, and MasterCard after they cut off WikiLeaks donations, specifically for participating in low-orbit ion cannon attacks. Several of them were signal boosters. Several of them said, I just shared a link. Several of them had lawyers. Does collective action reduce individual culpability? Courts have gone both ways on this. In the United States, aiding and abetting statutes do not require you to be the ringleader. Prosecutors love aiding and abetting. Prosecutors collect aiding and abetting charges the way the lurker collects screenshots. Risk level low, but non-zero. You are a leaf. But leaves, when there are enough of them, constitute the entire tree, and sometimes arborists investigate the whole tree. Rapid fire. Knows what they participated in? Probably. Understood legal implications? Debatable. Would describe themselves as activist? Yes. Would describe themselves as hacker? At dinner parties? Yes. Actual classification? Participant. Verdict. Yellow door, which we just now invented because the signal booster exists in a permanently ambiguous legal and moral zone that the binary door system cannot adequately capture. You're free, but carry an umbrella because the weather in this hallway is unpredictable. Tier 3. The foot soldier. I was following orders. This is sounding familiar, historically familiar, uncomfortably familiar. The foot soldier runs the tools, downloads LOIC, participates in timed coordinated attacks, joins IRC channels where someone with a pseudonym explains what to point the cannon at tonight. The foot soldier knows more than the signal booster. The foot soldier has done more than the signal booster. The foot soldier's legal exposure is correspondingly more than the signal boosters. The defense: I was just one of thousands. How can they prosecute everyone? Here's how. They don't have to. They prosecute some. They make examples. In Operation Payback alone, the FBI executed over 40 search warrants. 16 people were indicted. Courts issued sentences ranging from probation to over a year in federal prison. The deterrence model does not require universal prosecution. It requires sufficient prosecution to make the remaining participants nervous, which it did, and which caused a measurable drop in foot soldier participation following 2012 enforcement actions. Following orders from an anonymous IRC administrator is, legally speaking, following orders from nobody, which means you made the decision yourself, which means it was your decision, which means congratulations on your autonomy, here is a subpoena. Verdict: contextual red door. Not definitive. Many foot soldiers were never charged, but the door is red because the risk is real, documented, prosecuted, and historically demonstrated. You are not a number. You are evidence. Brief commercial interruption. Today's proceeding is sponsored by VPN services that definitely work. Disclaimer: does not work against national intelligence infrastructure, court orders, or your own operational security failures. VPN services that definitely work because I deleted my browser history is not a legal strategy. Tier 4. The planner. I just coordinated. The planner set targets, picked timing windows, distributed roles, did not technically press the button. The planner's argument is structural. I'm an organizer, not an actor. The legal system disagrees enthusiastically. Conspiracy charges exist specifically for this argument. Under 18 U.S.C. Section 371, a conspiracy conviction requires agreement to commit an offense and one overt act in furtherance. The planner committed many overt acts in furtherance. The planner committed them in logged chats on servers with metadata, at times cross-referenceable with real-world events. Risk: high. Prosecution priority: elevated. The planner is a named node in an organizational diagram that law enforcement has been drawing since 2008. Verdict: red door firmly. The planner coordinated. Coordination is the thing prosecutors pay for. Enjoy the hallway. Legal will see you shortly. Yes, this time, legal is actually here. Tier 5. The operator. I have skills, not guilt. Technical competence, real capabilities, vulnerability, analysis, data exfiltration, infrastructure penetration. The operator is where anonymous crosses from loud to dangerous, from symbolic to operational, from civil disobedience into territory covered by serious felony statutes. The operator's self-image. I'm a researcher, a gray hat, a digital freedom fighter. Reality check. Barrett Brown, Jeremy Hammond, Hector Sabu Monsiger. The operator tier is where the arrests get serious, the sentences get long, and the cooperation agreements get signed under duress. Sabu was turned in 2011, operated for months as an FBI informant, and contributed to the arrest of multiple operators globally. Hammond received 10 years. Lulzsek's technical core was systematically dismantled between 2011 and 2013. Skills are not a defense. Skills are evidence of capability. Capability combined with documented action is called a conviction. Verdict: red door, reinforced steel, fingerprint scanner already logged you on entry. Tier 6. The voice. Words are not actions. The ideologue. The manifesto writer. The one whose statements get quoted in news coverage under phrases like a person claiming to represent Anonymous. Words are absolutely actions when they constitute incitement, conspiracy, or material support. The voice establishes narrative, coordinates public perception, and occasionally crosses into direct operational communication dressed as rhetoric. Multiple anonymous affiliated figures who maintained public channels were successfully prosecuted based on their public statements being cross-referenced with operational timelines. Also, the Guy Fawkes mask is now a licensed Warner Brothers product. Every time someone buys one to protest corporate power, a portion goes to a corporation. The voice did not address this. The corporation noticed. Verdict: red door with a media escort. Tier 7. The core node. I'm not public, so I don't exist. The quietest and most hunted. Connects cells. Accesses closed coordination infrastructure. Knows names that shouldn't be known. The core node believes obscurity is protection. It is not. It is a smaller target list with higher investigative priority. Every major anonymous operation that resulted in serious prosecution eventually serviced a core node. Their digital hygiene, however sophisticated, contained human error. Because humans make errors. Because nobody is actually as careful as they think they are at 2 a.m. on their fourth energy drink, coordinating a multinational hacktivist operation. Verdict: red door, immediate left, there's already a dossier on the table with your IRC handle highlighted. Tier 8. The myth. I am a symbol, not a person. The finale. The myth. The name in the headlines. The operation that became a Wikipedia article. The avatar that transcends individual identity. Here's the problem with becoming a symbol. Symbols can be arrested. Symbols can be de-anonymized. Symbols, when they are actual humans who made actual operational decisions, become defendants. And defendants, even mythological ones, sit in courtrooms that are quite aggressively non-mythological. Fluorescent lighting, uncomfortable chairs, procedural delays. The myth is simultaneously the most powerful tier and the most exposed one. Power and exposure, as this entire proceeding has demonstrated, are directly correlated. Closing statement from the corporation. The corporation would like to note, for the record, that Anonymous was never a hierarchy, and yet we just reviewed 8 hierarchical tiers. Anonymous was never an organization, and yet it had internal structures, specialized roles, operational security protocols, and succession conflicts. Anonymous was never a brand, and yet its imagery became globally recognizable commercial iconography. The corporation respects this. The corporation sees itself in this. The corporation also has no official leadership, distributed accountability, and a logo that means different things to different people. The difference is that the corporation has lawyers. You did not. Proceedings closed. Doors are to your left and right. You know which one is yours.